We are here to celebrate the trailblazing women spearheading social and environmental impact as part of Cartier Women's Initiative. For those of you who may not be familiar, Cartier Women's Initiative is an annual entrepreneurship program that drives change by empowering women impact entrepreneurs. There are so many individuals who are here this evening celebrating with us, members of Cartier Women's Initiative community. It spans 62 countries and 262 women. Cartier philanthropy partners, just incredible impact leaders that are committed to social and environmental change. We also have distinguished guests from UAE, international journalists, local investors, supporters of women's entrepreneurship from around the world. We also have many people chiming in virtually from around the world, including my American teenagers who I hope are up. It's so early in New York, 11 a.m. Welcome to each and every one of you. What we're going to do this evening is a blend of both inspiration and celebration. For the first part, we're going to hear from thought leaders and role models. And for the second part, we get to see our Impact Awards. And I've had an opportunity to meet the women leaders. They are astounding, and I'm sure that you will have the opportunity and enjoy meeting them this evening. If there is anything that happens tonight, and I see any of you doing something that looks like this, I will not be offended. I will assume that means that someone has said something that inspires you and that you feel that other people need to hear. And if that is the case, please use the hashtag 15 years of impact on whatever social platform you are on. Before we delve into the program, let's watch a short video that encapsulates how women impact entrepreneurs can change the world for the better.
What would the world look like if every woman who dared to dream big could reach her fullest potential? Where would we be if all visionaries had a space to develop, mold, and set their ideas free? We are that space. We are that community. Open and diverse, vibrant and unafraid, allies to trailblazers, believing in the potential of all impact entrepreneurs, always reaching backward, pulling each other up, smashing all ceilings.
While we play the game,
we define the rules.
Seeking solutions to our Earth's greatest problems. When the world shouts out in need, our innovators answer. Manifesting the unbelievable into the tangible. Starting from nothing and building, staring down all possibilities, pushing aside all improbabilities.
refusing to be defeated.
Adapting and evolving into something much bigger than ourselves. Using the full force of bold creation to keep the momentum rippling and rising. If there is a way, we will find it. If there's a solution, we will discover it. Magnifying voices that should not be ignored, providing light to hopes that should not be buried. We may come from different cultures. We may hold different beliefs. We may have different identities, but together we are building the foundations of a global awakening where everyone has a chance to flourish, where powerful sparks are transformed into concrete realities, where innovative creations are pushed across the world by the strongest of currents, amplifying the endless potential of humankind.
So we're really happy to be here tonight to celebrate this 15 years. And it's been such a journey. And every time we could have occasion to be together physically, it's been really, really wonderful. Last year we had to do it digitally, but anyway, we could feel the emotion. And it started 15 years ago as kind of a program next to the Women Economic Forum, but then since 6 years decided to make it on its own and to expand and have other chapters, other region, one for women in tech as well, and increase the price. And thanks to that, the community expanded. Not only the community of the entrepreneurs, of the fellows, but also of the jury members, of the coaches, and all of those who have contributed to it. We have made such a vibrant community that basically everything started from the same thing, a kind of firm conviction that something can be done, looking at something just around a problem that could not be fixed. And then someone say, we can't make it. And one person say, I will do it. And against the odd, against the family, against the friend, against everything, we did it and continue to do it. And most of this business are still there and continue to act for good. And that's remarkable. So we want it for this time, when we are here in Dubai, when there is Universal Expo, and for the first time, a women's pavilion, not to have the usual award, but this celebration, and to look back and to say hello and thank you and congratulations to all of you, each and every one. There will be a special award session for 3 different topics, and you will see them later on. But wanted here to say how proud we are to have supported this initiative for 15 years. And each and every time I had occasion, digitally or physically, to meet you fellows, you friends, every time I thought, oh my God, what have I done with my life? When they could do so much. And some can start so early, and you will have later a very kind of young entrepreneur leader who can talk so eloquently that, again, you think, what had done at that age? My God, I really have to hurry to do something useful for the world. That's why I'm here tonight, to help all of you, because we never do enough to help you doing what you do. So thank you, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Hello, everyone.
We now have a special message from someone whose pioneering spirit is an inspiration for women and girls all over the world. She is especially an inspiration for me because I am a terrible swimmer. I can barely even doggy paddle. She is a several-time Olympic medalist and world diving champion, as well as a champion of women empowerment. Please give a round of applause for Guo Jingjing.
Hello, everyone. I'm Guo Jingjing. Thank you, Sarah and Mr. Dufu. Unfortunately, I could not join you in person due to travel restrictions. Nonetheless, I'm honored to be a part of the Cartier Women Initiative World Reunion and join you with you to celebrate together the phenomenal achievements of outstanding women worldwide. As a former professional athlete, I know what it means to have to persevere and build up self-discipline. Those are traits that I nurtured through years of training and constant challenges. Having been an Olympic champion, I'm honored to receive such recognition and support from the public, which has brought me much energy and warmth. I also, however, feel a sense of responsibility. Making a meaningful contribution to society is something that I have often reflected upon, as I wish to spread warmth and kindness that I receive to more people. That's why I decided to further immerse myself in creating social and environmental impact after I retired from competitive diving. For more than 10 years, I've been dedicated to protecting our oceans and our children, as well as improving women's lives in developing countries and supporting women empowerment. That is why it is so incredible to witness the remarkable achievements of women entrepreneurs today. Established 15 years ago, the Cartier Women Initiative has supported over 216 female entrepreneurs worldwide. including Chinese female entrepreneurs, creating a global network of diverse allies. The Cartier Women Initiative community connects and unites female entrepreneurs. As Sarah announced earlier, the Cartier Women Initiative is slated to pilot a local program in China this year. I, for one, cannot wait. I'm also convinced that this progression can help break down language barriers and support a wider range of female entrepreneurs. In recent years, the number of female employees and entrepreneurs in China has soared, yet they still face considerable challenges on their journey. As the Cartier Women's Initiative expands in China, it will bring Chinese female entrepreneurs greater access to global knowledge and resources. By supporting one another, we can all achieve more. I believe the Cartier Women's Initiative is a powerful ripple for positive change, helping unleash a global wave of female entrepreneurship. Because when women thrive, humanity thrives. Thank you.
Thank you, Guo Jingjing. We look forward to your support as we grow our program. Your Excellency, Surreal, Cartier Women Initiative community, fellows, distinguished guests, and my dear Cartier family, good evening. My name is Wendy Sampaio. I'm the Global Program Director of the Cartier Women Initiative. It has been a dream of our team to have the chance to reunite the last 15 years of our community together. And this year, this dream became a reality. Our work would not be possible without each and every one of our community members. And tonight, we want to thank you for those of you who are able to join us in person today, and those of you who are connecting with us digitally. Our 15th edition milestone was the perfect opportunity for this reunion, but it is also a very important point for us in terms of reflection. Last year, we ran our first ever impact survey, where we fielded out the survey to all 15 years of participants. We received 100 different responses, and we learned so much about our program participants' experience with us. For those who responded to our efforts of impact measurement, I want to take this opportunity to really thank you. While the data is far from perfect, and it is our first year of baseline data, it nonetheless will inform so much of what we'll be doing in the future for the ecosystem. Today, I wanted to share with you some of our key findings. We have 262 entrepreneurs ranging from 62 different countries. And as Surreal has shared, we're launching new regional categories to better serve areas that we were not serving well previously. Our survey revealed that our fellows, on average, had a business revenue of $400K, 25 employees, and have been in business for about 8 years. The top 3 sectors that our fellows are operating in were health, information technology, and environmental services, naming that actually the women entrepreneurship in our program are shattering many of the stereotypes in many male-dominated industries. Together, they're tackling all 17 of the UN SDG goals, with the top 2 being good health and well-being, and decent work and economic growth. Businesses that were supporting health and well-being included oxygen delivery, private ambulance services, low-cost clinics, while businesses that were supporting decent work and economic growth included fulfilling artisanal jobs, hiring of people with disability, and upskilling sites with recruiting supports. Considering the disruption of COVID-19, along with 2020 being an incredible difficult year for women entrepreneurs, our fellows really more than weathered the storm. More than half of them were able to raise external funding, and many of our fellows were able to pivot their business model to new geographies and new opportunities. The work of the Cartier Women Initiative is to support women impact entrepreneurs by providing financial, social, and human capital support. To evaluate the impact of our work, we looked deeply into how our support encouraged and developed our fellows from a personal basis, as well as in terms of their business growth. The greatest areas of contribution in terms of personal development for our fellows were creating a sense of belonging, self-confidence, and network. And indeed, this is consistent with what women entrepreneurship research has shown is much needed. In terms of business skills, most of our fellows felt that our program really supported them in terms of adding additional business skill. And this is no doubt due to the great volunteer mentors that have been in our program, as well as INSEAD Business School, which has been our strategic academic partner from the very beginning. Together, we have always believed that business is an important force for good. Paralleling all of this is how we contributed to the fellows' business growth itself. And here, most of our fellows shared with us that we were able to add significantly to them in terms of increasing their business visibility. I want to take a moment to really thank all of Cartier's press partner, whom every edition tells the untold story of woman impact entrepreneur and helps share the contribution of women leaders. That said, there's still so much to be done. When we inquired about what our fellows really needed in the upcoming year, many of them shared with us that marketing, funding, and capital support, sales, branding were 4 of the key top areas of what will help them grow their business. We will be iterating on our program to develop and grow more in these areas. Tomorrow, we have the incredible opportunity as a community to ideate and innovate together in an innovation workshop on the future of the Cartier Women Initiative. And we hope together we'll be able to create a new ecosystem that will be better supported for women impact entrepreneurs. We know that the more deeply we understand our fellows, the more able we're able to support them. And by monitoring our program's impact, we're able to consistently improve. A community is much more than belonging to something. It is about doing something together to make that belonging matter. And it is for this reason, today we're honoring 10 of our community members as community champions. Our community is a network of volunteers, supporters around the world, jury members who help us select our fellows. They open doors for them in the respective ecosystem, mentor and coaches who share their professional expertise along with their life experiences to accompany our fellows. They give up their time with their family, they give up their moments of rest to remove barriers and open doors for women impact entrepreneurs. They have contributed their time over the years to uplift our program and the ecosystem. The tremendous accomplishment of our fellow, the synergy created by our community, together we will continue the ripple effect that began 15 years ago. Thank you so much for being part of our journey, and I now present to you with much, much gratitude our community champions.
Being mentors, human being in this world, and a great contributor to the project.
You have shown me that it's very important to pave the way for other women. And just based off of our coaching relationship, I've learned that there's true power in making space for other people, in carrying other women along, because truly the journey is better with other people.
Totally unexpected, and that was really beautiful.
Shireen, I really think you're an amazing person. You've inspired us, and I'm sure you'll continue to inspire other entrepreneurs as well. It's the true spirit of being a mentor, a human being in this world, and a great contributor to the Cartier Women's Initiative Awards program.
Wow. Shelley, you are so bold for just being who you are, for your commitment to female entrepreneurs, through the work you do with the Cartier Women's Initiative.
The positivity and energy that you bring to every conversation, and at the same time providing very clear, concrete ideas that are actionable, really have stayed with me ever since the first time I met you.
Listening to you, telling me that you're gonna be among the winners really left in me a great, great impact to keep on moving. And when I was on the stage collecting my trophy, I believe that you were right.
I read your newspaper column every week, and then you mentioned me one day, and you mentioned my work, and I was like, oh my God. Because of you, today, I make sure I pull up every women entrepreneur I see on my journey.
You know, thousands of times, chère alumna, where you help me to navigate, you coach me. You help me as well to be myself, not to be afraid. And you help me as well to really find my way to achieve my dreams. You make this world a better world, and you made my world a better world.
I never felt the need to try and be anyone but my true self. You're not bound to numbers, but take a what can we do together approach that I believe is why you get the best out of people.
That it's been all worth it.
Hello, Limata. This message is for you to express our gratitude for your great contribution to this great community. It's something nice in life when people can become professional friends in a long and lasting manner.
The Cartier community is an amazing place that is super diverse.
It's a community that believes and supports women entrepreneurs around the world.
It makes me feel that I'm part of something that is much bigger than what I'm doing, and that my contribution actually is worthwhile to these wonderful entrepreneurs.
It means that what I have been doing for the last 10 years touched her heart and touched the heart of many other women.
It actually inspires me to do more for women changemakers around the world.
I had so many experiences with the different initiative that supports women, but this one sits at the core of my heart.
CWA has laid an amazing foundation.
We believe in rights, in representation, and most importantly, in resources for women entrepreneurs.
To be able to do that and create this whole new slew of role models, keep doing that and doing a phenomenal job at it.
She is an actor, a producer, and a change agent, all at the age of 22. She's a champion for diversity and inclusion, both on and off the screen. She has been called the voice of a generation by many, though in characteristic modesty, she would say that she's one of many voices in a multifaceted and diverse generation. Please welcome Yara Shahidi, who will tell us about the footprint that Gen Z seeks to have on the world.
Thank you for that lovely introduction. Hi all, I'm Yara, and I'm really honored to be here tonight. In the 1980s, just a little bit before I was around, two of my inspirations, James Baldwin and Audre Lorde, held a conversation titled A Revolutionary Hope. They talked about the American dream, this mythological, theoretical idea of a perfect world, open to anyone who worked hard and persevered. And Lorde punctuated the conversation with the stark reality of many when she said, "I know that dream was never for me. Nobody was dreaming about me." The context of their conversation may seem unrelated to why we're gathered. Yes, it did take place in the 80s in the United States, while here we are together in Dubai almost 40 years later. But the dream that Lorde speaks of remains emblematic of a global experience in truth. Because as women, many of us are born into cultures that show us that hope is in our hard work. Our ability to gain access to new opportunities and create new lives happens through a deep commitment. In short, we're all born into a dream, and therefore, we're all born dreamers. However, so many of us can relate to Lord's words, experiencing a world that does not support our dreams. And as we wake to the realization that the dream was not imagined with us in mind, we do what comes to us oh so naturally. We activate. Cartier Women's Initiative continues to keep us inspired through the beautiful work of honoring women that are redefining a more inclusive dream. Tonight represents 15 years of innovation, discipline, and commitment in this very room. We're together, drawn by a shared interest in using personal passions to serve the world at large. This room is a manifestation of something that my parents taught me at a really young age, which is that abundance must flow. This group of humans are a testament to people that have excelled in their field and still chosen to give back every step of the way. As we spend time commemorating the incredible achievements of the past, I'm also excited to talk about our shared future and how my generation is informing our new dream. I'm grateful to be a part of a dialogue across generations tonight. See, my mama has always demonstrated to me the importance of intergenerational exchange, both within my family and out in the world. I consider my grandparents, my nana and my papa, my mentors, just as civil rights advocate Dr. Angela Davis and esteemed civil rights lawyer Sherrilyn Ifill are also. I'm hardwired to learn from the lived experience and expertise of those before me, while also being encouraged to develop my own opinions and outlooks. The person I am today and my social engagement work is a reflection of the intergenerational relationships and how I have been poured into and supported. Those of us in the room here tonight value and nurture intergenerational relationships, and many of the fellows have actively geared their work towards Gen Z, my generation. For example, Dora Palfi is a developer, entrepreneur, and Cartier Women's Initiative fellow. Years ago, as she began her first job as a developer, she was simply referred to as the girl on the 7th floor because there were no women developers. So what has Dora done? She has decided that no other woman should be nameless in the world of tech and coding. She has drawn my generation of women into coding, making it easier for us to see ourselves in that dream. These young coders have someone to reach out to look up to. Dora is a mentor and a model to an entire generation of women in tech. The reality is that we all have the potential to build these bridges and relationships. And actually, it is exactly the work that each of these fellows are doing and accomplishing. Whether you're providing solutions to fight climate change, tackling social bias, or redefining access to healthcare, your presence and paths expand the world of possibilities for so many women. Generational exchange is integral to safeguarding the future of Gen Z, and it is closely related to another necessary bridge, ensuring that personal success translates into community success. Some time ago, as I was pondering how my work could be as impactful as possible, civil rights advocate and former Legal Defense Fund president Sherrilyn Ifill imparted this advice. For those of us committed to the work of equity and a better future, our primary job is to stay on assignment and infiltrate, to be committed to bringing others into spaces that did not exist for them before, to represent the underrepresented, and to really be impactful. And this was really so meaningful to me because as an actress and a producer and a student, I have had the privilege of working in some of the most prestigious institutions in the world, whether that be the Walt Disney Company to Harvard University. And while I've always been committed to the work of being of service, it often keeps me up at night or in deep conversation with my business partner and my mama, Yara Shahidi, about how we make the most of the spaces that we've been given. How do I ensure that I am never settling with being one of an exclusive few in a space and avoiding recreating the same exclusionary cycle that has kept other women, women of color, and of every other intersection out? Sherrilyn Ifill's answer was so simple and still so resonant. Infiltrate. Sherrilyn Ifill asks of us, as I'm asking of you, to join the Cartier Changemakers by committing to a collective mission of equality, which will drive us to make the most of every single opportunity. Because our allegiance isn't with rising through the ranks of our fields by fostering competition. Our allegiance is in learning all we can, sharing all we can, supporting all we can, so that we can be active participants in the reimagination of an equitable world. This is one of the most generous things you could do for my generation. We've grown up in a world in which we were promised that small incremental changes would move us along. But as we're faced with climate crises and injustices on a global scale, it is evident that we can no longer be content with small revisions to an unfair system. It is our task to experiment and collaborate and find wholly new resolutions. The work my generation is doing is so exciting to me because it proves that reimagination is not something to fear, but it is actually an incredible opportunity. Reimagining doesn't threaten to leave anyone behind, but for the first time calls for the real inclusion of everyone. I want to mention another Cartier Women's Initiative fellow, Carmina Bayombong, and her own commitment to reimagination. Carmina set out to prove that being born poor and underserved is not a foregone conclusion, and it is certainly not the basis for exclusion. She has shown that a generation of Filipino youth are creditworthy and are absolutely entitled to chasing their dreams. And with her support, these dreamers have redefined the reality of their families and communities at large. We are lucky that we live in an age where it is easier than ever to spark and, of course, sustain these conversations across borders and to build bridges and to infiltrate. As a Black and Iranian woman, my heritage demonstrates how the work of equity transcends borders and cultures. Within this room, we have an incredible opportunity to create an international network of people with a shared dedication to making the world a fairer, more inclusive, sustainable, respectful, green, and diverse place. Many people ask if my generation has become disillusioned, growing up in a world with so many flaws. But I'd say no. This has not stifled our vision at all. Actually, because of it, we are some of the world's best dreamers, and that makes us well-equipped to shape the world of tomorrow with the assistance of all of you. Because, as another mentor of mine, Dr. Angela Davis says, individuals don't change history or make transformative moments. Every major change is the result of a collective imagination. Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
We are now gearing up for the second part of our evening, celebrating our Impact Awardees. Remember, in order to amplify the inspiration this evening, please feel free to use the hashtag 15 years of impact on all of your platforms. The Impact Awardees represent 9 Cartier Women's Initiative fellows who have achieved remarkable impact in each of their fields. The 3 award categories are based on UN Sustainable Development Goals. The first is creating opportunities. The second is preserving the planet. And the third is improving lives. We're going to have the opportunity to hear from all 9 awardees today. Each of them will tell us their then and now story, how they got from their aha moment to where they are today. And I've had an opportunity to hear them. I can't wait for you all to hear their stories. The first category is creating opportunities for entrepreneurs, building a more inclusive, equitable future. Please give a round of applause and welcome to the stage Carmina Bayombong, founder of Invested, Farial Salhuddin, founder of Trade, and Carol Chow, founder of Showcase.
Oh, good luck.
First up, we have Carmia Bayambong, founder of InvestEd, which provides student loans to underserved communities in the Philippines.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. I was born to parents who broke out of poverty by getting a college degree. They taught me that education is a very powerful tool for success, but not everyone has access to it. My parents were right. When I was studying engineering, I saw my own classmates take on multiple jobs just to pay for school and make ends meet. This is why in the Philippines, 2 million college students drop out every year. And some of my own friends became part of this statistic and were forced to give up on their dreams. There are so many students who are poor in resources now, but are rich in ambition for tomorrow. They just need financial resources and guidance to achieve their full potential. When we started solving this problem, my co-founders and I asked ourselves one thing. How come no one has succeeded in doing student loans to the disadvantaged at scale? We found out that around the world, most people had concluded that students from disadvantaged backgrounds were not creditworthy because they were young, poor, and without collateral. But we soon discovered that there existed no legitimate evidence of this claim. So we set out to prove the opposite, that disadvantaged students are creditworthy and that their potential was worth investing in. InvestEd envisions a world where every young dreamer has no barriers to success. Our success platform provides low-income, high-potential students the 3 C's they need to succeed: capital, coaching, and community. So far, we have supported 2,000 dreamers by funding their higher education and guiding them from school to success in the workforce. Our students achieve an average income increase of 117%, and they get placed in jobs twice faster than the national average. And we achieved repayment rates above 90% amidst one of the worst pandemics in history. I am so proud of our students for achieving their dreams, lifting up their families, and for being the soul of our mission to prove to the world that when we invest in young people's potential, we empower entire families out of poverty. And at scale, we empower entire nations towards progress. Thank you.
Thank you, Carmina. Next up, we have Fariel Salhuddin, founder of Uptrade, helping rural Pakistani communities meet their electricity needs in exchange for livestock.
Hello, everyone. Some of the rural poor are not actually poor. Some of the households have a higher net worth than some of us here. I was in a remote village in Pakistan when I realized this. I had traveled from Karachi, my home city of 20 million people, to explore the potential for off-grid solar. Even though it took me just 2 hours to get here, I felt I had traveled 200 years back in time. I had left behind a place where almost every rooftop sparkled with solar panels, where the night before I had ordered my dinner on an app on my smartphone. Now I found myself surrounded by this vast, barren land speckled with mud homes. Here, the women and girls were spending hours pulling water out of the ground to take back to their homes that had no indoor plumbing. The community that seemed so poor, in fact, owned livestock that was worth tens of thousands of dollars. How was it then that this community that had so many goats was living in these conditions? that they could not even access water. I realized I was measuring their wealth in goats, whereas they would need cash to buy something like a solar water pump that would solve for their basic need. That's when I offered to take payment for their pump in goats instead of cash. And a few months later, the community got a pump. Women and girls were no longer having to walk and work for hours to get water. And a year later, some of the homes had built indoor latrines. This community that had been waiting for years for the government or an NGO to buy them a pump had bought one for themselves using their own resources. That is the inspiration for self-reliance that drives my company, Uptrade. Uptrade sells the livestock that we get in exchange for these assets through our meat line. To date, more than 9,000 households have used livestock to purchase access to water and electricity. We hope to bring this work to marginalized communities around the world. By changing how we think about money, we can empower all communities to drive their own futures and define their own prosperity. Thank you.
Thank you, Theriel. Next up, we'll hear from Carol Chow, founder of Showcase, a sustainable textile company that uses yak's wool to develop premium products. She could not make it here, but has recorded a video message.
Have you ever thought about why you bought your last sweater? Was it because of the material you were looking for, wool or cashmere, or was it because you liked the style? In fact, your fashion choices very much can impact the social and environmental aspects of our world. And that's because fashion is the world's second largest polluting industry. And brands are trying to figure out how to dress you well, but also in a more sustainable manner. And this sweater that I'm wearing, it's made from 100% yak wool. It's more breathable than cashmere, warmer than wool, sustainable, and it also supports Tibetan livelihoods. And all that goodness is packed into one. And so what seems like a very simple sweater is actually supported by an ecosystem of manufacturers who are all committed towards sustainability. I started Showcase 16 years ago as a sustainable textiles company focused on sourcing yak fiber from Tibetan regions. Did you know that 80% of the world's yak population resides in the Himalayan plateaus? And at the altitudes of 3,500 meters high, the wool that keeps them warm is also more sustainable. Because when yaks graze on the grassland, they don't pull out the roots directly. And so that prevents them from contributing to desertification. When we first shared this with other fashion brands, they were excited but also hesitant for using an unknown material. So I have an adventurous spirit, and with my team, we decided to take the matter into our own hands. Created our own brand, designed our own yarns and fabrics, and connected directly to consumers. We wanted to create market demand. Today, the landscape is completely different because sustainability is now a major trend, and fashion brands are actively looking for materials that are sustainable and traceable. In this journey, Showcase has pioneered and changed this industry. We've been able to increase the value of raw yak wool for the Tibetan herders by 5-fold, directly benefiting the Tibetan herders, and through blockchain technologies, being able to connect 4,000 Tibetan families to major global brands. So the next time that you're looking to buy a new sweater, think about how your fashion choice really can have a social and environmental impact. And I invite you to try yak wool and to think about Showcase.
We'll now hear from the individuals who will come and give these awards. I'd like to invite Cyril Vigneron, President and CEO of Cartier International, and Sophie Duahuo, CEO of Cartier Middle East, India, and Africa, to announce the first place, second place, and third place awardees. So this really is this time the moment that we've all been waiting for. They were wonderful. I'll give it over to you.
So the third place for creating opportunities goes to Carol Chow. She's not here, but anyway, she received. So, congratulations to her.
And now, the second place in creating opportunities goes to Carmina. Congratulations, Carmina. Bravo. Congratulations, Carmina. Thank you.
And now you wonder who is the one. Okay, I guess you kind of guessed. It's Fariel Salahuddin.
You know.
Congratulations.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Congratulations. The careful is very heavy to remember. And I have something to say. Wendy said that tomorrow we start a workshop about the future of CWI. One part of the workshop should be, we should make a trophy which is lighter. This one weighs like 1 ton, and I don't want her tomorrow to be kind of caught by the excessive weight or a secret. Everything's too dangerous. I'm sorry for that. But anyway, you deserved it. But the next one will be lighter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Okay.
Our next award category is Preserving the Planet for entrepreneurs who have taken urgent action to safeguard the future of our only home. Please give a round of applause and welcome to the stage Joanna Howarth, founder of Planet Protector, Lorna Ruto, founder of Equitable, and Charlotte Wang, founder of Nika. First up is Lorna Ruto, founder of EcoPost, which uses recycled plastic to make 100% recyclable plastic lumber.
Have you ever wondered how your day-to-day life affects the future of the planet? Will our future generation get a chance to experience the vast plant and animal species? Will there be fresh air to breathe, clean water, food availability? Or will it all be history? I was born in Kenya, in a small village called Kaptembwa. My childhood was an adventure. Kaptembwa had a lot of forested areas. Now is the time. Now is the time, and we shall not be satisfied otherwise. I call unto you. When we preserve our planet, we preserve our livelihoods. Think future, think Equitable. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorna. Next up, we have Joanna Howell, founder of Planet Protector Packaging, an alternative to polystyrene that is eco-friendly because it's made of sheep's wool.
Indeed. Who would have thought that the humble sheep would be a secret weapon against the global waste crisis? It was back in 2016 in an unassuming warehouse, a food warehouse in Western Sydney, that I was surrounded by a sea of polystyrene. Some of you might know it as styrofoam. It was there that my gargantuan quest to replace this insidious material began. Polystyrene has dominated cold supply chains for decades now. It breaks down into small microbeads that find their way into the ocean. They are ingested by marine life, move up the food chain, and are increasingly a threat to human health. I was compelled to find a sustainable alternative. My vision was to harness the thermal properties of wool, the same thermal properties that keep sheep warm in winter and cool in summer. Wool is biodegradable, and at its end of life, it breaks down to deliver valuable nutrients back into the soil. It was a steep learning curve and a real test of tenacity as I immersed myself in a world of sheep breeds, fibres, and insulation. We use wool unsuitable for the textile industry, wool that's ordinarily destined for landfill. We have monetised it and given it a second life. It took us a whole year to develop our proprietary blend. Don't be fooled, it looks very simple, but there's a lot of science behind our very disruptive innovation. Fast forward 5 years, COVID now has presented us with enormous challenges, but at the same time, it's been good and it's accelerated the growth of e-commerce and the demand for our sustainable packaging. Our product is being used to ship the vaccine across New Zealand. Amazing. We're generating new revenues for sheep farmers, transforming supply chains, strengthening rural communities, and reducing food and pharmaceutical waste. We have already eliminated more than 8 million polystyrene shippers in supply chains. In the face of the unfolding climate crisis, nature-inspired solutions like our product, Woolpack, are the building blocks for a new regenerative circular economy. Say goodbye to polystyrene for good. Together, we will rematerialise the future, and we will do it nature's way. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanna. We'll now hear from Charlotte Wang. She is the founder of Equitable, an energy management service that relies on AI and big data. She's joining us virtually.
I remember when I grew up in a region full of coal-fired power plants in China. Pollution level was so high that I never wear white clothes. No white skirts, no white shoes. The sky I remember was being brown, now blue. My sinus problem was so bad that I had to get them drained regularly. Took medicine for them every single day. My name is Charlotte Wang. I'm the founder and CEO of Equitable Energy. I was lucky enough to go to the United States for college to study engineering. But to my surprise, within 2 weeks, I noticed I don't need it anymore. That was the first sign to me that things could be different. A few years later, I was doing energy-related research using AI technology at MIT when I had my first child. I came back over China for a trip. My sinus problem, which I last had when I was 15 years old, came back. It was terrible. It was so bad that I have to cut my whole month trip into just down to 1 week. That made me think further. I want to make a change to my children, that they could have a different childhood, have a better air. They could have a much better environment growing up. As an engineer, a mother, a concerned citizen of this world, I feel the call that I want to help to build a safer planet. That is what pushed me from research to social entrepreneurship. I had a vision to build a system just like fitness tracker for the atmosphere. That is the way to Equitable, to gather the data from existing monitoring system and use AI technology to analyze. We identified inefficiency. We use a feedback loop to do the directly control to optimize and then to see the result. So we can save the energy. We also can reduce destructive pollution that harms both people and planet. As of now, we have saved over 8 million tons of carbon with a team of 28 people. That equivalent to the entire city of Shanghai without using transportation over 2 months. We also helped to increase the solar energy usage over 500 megawatt. We also helped to avoid over 200 fatalities. That's incredible, right? We don't plan to stop here. Our eventual plan is to revamp energy system for the low carbon future all over the world. I, a normal woman, stepping out of my comfort zone. Look at what I have achieved with my team. Imagine if you step out of your comfort zone, what we could achieve together.
Welcome back to the stage, Cyril and Sophie, who will grant our awardees their titles. First, second, and third place.
The third place for Preserving the Planet goes to Lona Ruto.
Second place for Preserving the Planet goes to Joanna Howell. Bravo. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you
It's
so
amazing.
much.
Bravo, bravo. Yes.
And the first to Charlotte Wang.
Bravo.
It's not there, but congrats.
Congratulations, ladies. Congratulations. Our third award category is Improving Lives for entrepreneurs who have dedicated their lives to safeguarding health and well-being. Please welcome to the stage Temi Giwa Tibuson, founder of LifeBank, Nika Mobisan, founder of Mdoc, and Rasha Radhi, founder of Shifa. First up, we have Temi Giwa Tibuson, founder of LifeBank, an innovative platform to deliver medical supplies to hospitals in Africa.
Eight years ago, whilst lying on a hospital bed, having a very terrifying childbirth experience, I had a light bulb moment. I knew at the time that thousands of women across sub-Saharan Africa, where I was born, die every day because of lack of access to life-saving supplies. See, maternal mortality in sub-Saharan Africa ranges approximately 1,000 deaths per 100,000 births, compared to 5 to 20 in developed countries. Postpartum hemorrhage accounts for 30% to 50% of these deaths. That gives us around 556 women bleeding to death every single day across sub-Saharan Africa. And I found that we could save 4 out of 5 of these women if we simply moved blood to the hospitals where they're giving birth. I immediately hoped, right on that bed, that if I survived the birth of my son, I would do something to rescue these women. I was so lucky to have access to excellent care in the United States, and I lived, and my son lived as well. A few years later, I moved to Nigeria, determined to ensure that no woman dies while giving birth. A few months later, after we started LifeBank, I realized that the problem was not blood supply, but access to blood. You see, blood banks routinely discard blood because of its short shelf life. At the same time, women across hospitals were bleeding to death because of a shortage of its most critical supplies. I knew that we could use technology to appropriately match supply to demand. And if we pull it off, we could do this not just for blood, but for other essential supplies. My team and I worked for 2 years. And as we worked to build our proof of concept, I went out there and pitched my heart out, looking for resources to scale this most precious innovation. We saved about 2,000 lives during the first 2 years of LifeBank, but I was so confident that we could do more. And since then, we've done just that, delivering growth and impacting lives. We've built products with data analytics to better predict demand. And we're able to deliver right to the doorstep of the hospital via land, via water, and we've even taken to the skies. We use blockchain to properly track the blood system, making it safer. When the pandemic hit, we were able to use our systems and platforms to meet the critical demand for testing, delivering over 15,000 tests, PPE, and we even built an oxygen plant. We were able to deliver thousands of cylinders of oxygen to the patients who desperately needed to breathe. Today, we serve thousands of hospitals. And in the last couple of years, we've even earned over $2 million. I believe in the power of persistence and action. I am on a mission to show women, particularly my sisters in this room from the Cartier community, that with persistence and action, we can achieve our wildest dreams. The story of LifeBank began with one woman, one terrified woman, on a hospital bed. And now we rescue women just like me, who look just like me, across 3 countries, Nigeria, Kenya, and Ethiopia, and 12 communities, delivering over 150,000 products and rescuing 40,000 women. Our next milestone is to save 1 million lives. And I know with persistence and action, we will pull it off. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tami. Next up, we have Nika Robinson, founder of Mdoc, which provides success to healthcare for people living with chronic disease.
Good evening, everyone. 2017. So my father was a hardworking, middle-class professor from Nigeria who wanted 2 things in life. 1, to spend more time with his family, and 2, to transform the technology landscape of Nigeria. And unfortunately, he died prematurely from complications from a massive stroke that he suffered at the age of 52, largely because he did not have access to a medical team to help him manage his uncontrolled high blood pressure. I was devastated when my father died, but I became angry when I saw that years later, the status quo had not changed. Millions of Africans were still dying prematurely, preventably, from the very same condition that had taken not just my father, but one of Nigeria's preeminent technology innovators. It is this pain, coupled with my anger, that gave me the courage I needed to leave what many people said was a dream job, to co-found Mdoc and provide virtual self-care health coaching to people living with chronic conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, and cancer, at a time when almost no one believed that digital could work for health. And so I leaned into my determination to create my own path, letting my pain, that devastation, coupled with my anger, be the fuel to help me navigate the highs and lows of social entrepreneurship. All the time, keeping my eyes steadfast on the prize. So I kept moving. I found partners that were willing to invest in us and take the risk by providing us with flexible financing. I built a team, and then I co-designed, iterated, and refined with the very communities we serve. At Mdoc today, we are leveraging machine learning, data, and behavioral science to coach people, majority of whom make less than $3 a day, on the lifestyle modifications they need around healthy eating, physical activity, as well as the self-care techniques that enable them to address the depression and anxiety that often coexist with chronic conditions. And today, we are serving over 65,000 people, and we have saved over 50,000 lives, and we've impacted over 1 million. And we have so much more to do. And through it all, I have learned the key lesson. Let your pain fuel your purpose. And I hope that my dad is smiling, that I'm leveraging technology to improve lives for a healthier and happier world. Thank you.
Thank you, Nika. Next up, we have Rasha Radhi, founder of Shifa, a platform that allowed patients to receive and renew their prescriptions online, regardless of location or income.
Thank you. Hello. Did you know that 26% of the people on this planet have high blood pressure problems of different degrees? Sadly, this number probably applies to this room. I've been practicing medicine since 2008, and I had to manage complications that could have simply been prevented if my patient took their medications the right time, the right way, and sustainably. Poor patient compliance is not always because patient is resistant to treatment. In developing countries, it's mostly because the treatment or the medication is either not accessible or not affordable. This is why I've been thinking about this for a very long time. Before Shifa, my idea of changing the world was to learn and add a degree to my degrees and solve the problem from its roots, or so I thought. But in 2017, my friend, Joanna, who's sitting right there actually, said that she was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. Surprisingly, surgery was the easy part. The problem was for her to get her daily lifelong meds regularly afterwards. And I remember her questioning the future during her isolation for radiotherapy. And she said, I can literally order online anything I need, except for the medication I'm going to use for the rest of my life. At that moment, I could only comfort her, but in the back of my mind, I knew she's not the only one with this problem. But I did not have the knowledge nor the confidence to get out of my comfort zone and try to solve it some other way. It was Joanna, with her entrepreneurial background, who introduced me to this new life full of opportunities outside of the comfort zone. And here we are, 5 years later. Joanna, she has passed her 5 years cancer-free tests. She's the CEO of Shifa. She is the CEO of Shifa, my co-founder. Together, we have been operational nationwide in Egypt. We have successfully fulfilled more than 1.8 million orders to patients in Egypt. We have been empowering more than 4.5 million monthly triggered users across the Arabic-speaking populations, and that's monthly. For the past 5 years, I've been pushing myself every single day not to go back to my comfort zone, mentally. It hasn't been easy, really, believe me. But I can feel that I'm changing. I understand now that compliance boost is a game changer to chronic patients' quality of life. And that's worth fighting for. Start now. Thank you.
Thank you, Rasha. That was amazing. Please join me, Cyril and Sophie, to announce the first, second, and third place awardees.
So the third place goes to Rasha Radhi. Congratulations. Thank you.
Bravo, Rasha. The second place in improving lives goes to Nika Movinson. Bravo, Nika. Bravo, congrats. Bravo. It's great. Bravo, Nika. Bravo.
And the award goes to Equitable. Amazing.
Congratulations. A photo. Yes. A photo. A photo.
Yes, for the photo. Yes, a picture. You're right. You're perfectly right. Bravo, ladies.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations, ladies.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations to all 9 of our Impact awardees. Weren't they amazing? Before we end, let us take a moment to celebrate the fellows who most recently joined the Cartier Women's Initiative community for 2020 and 2021 in peak pandemic times. You can see them on the screen behind me. These incredible women are active on every front you could possibly imagine. Green construction services, fighting social bias using artificial intelligence, helping traditional communities license their intellectual property. Congratulations, and I'm looking forward to seeing what impact they continue to have with new communities and their communities locally and globally. Thank you. You hung in there with me with this incredible program. Thank you for being here to celebrate this remarkable achievement of the community and the 15th anniversary of the Cartier Women's Initiative. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that we are also here to celebrate every single one of you as impact leaders, as change makers, as enablers. You are helping us to ensure that women entrepreneurs thrive all around the world. You all are part of a ripple effect of positive change, and for that, we thank you. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.